Long time no see, guys, and it's finally there. The long-awaited Steam release of Witchfire will drop tomorrow, and it was time to make this video for you. I will cover every important aspect for your perfect start into the world of Witchfire. Use the timestamps in the description, where you will also find a link to the unofficial wiki, and if you have any other questions, ask them in the comments below, and also check out my other videos. Let's get going. When you start the game, it will ask you for a starting class and which one is the best one to choose. When you start a new game, in my opinion, it is smart to select the Shadow class. You won't find too many treasures on the Island of the Damned map, so gold for research will be scarce. For that very reason, it is very smart to get 2 good items at the start of the game as fast as possible. And also, Shadow has the maybe best stat distribution for your journey. You will start with the All-Seeing Eye, which is undoubtedly maybe one of the best late game rifles in the game. And it will also make sure that once you start with the research, you will get 2 more very good guns very early on. And it will also come with a light spell called Shockwave, which is not too bad. It's a little bit defensive, but you have 2 very good starting items as well as a very good strat distribution. So please select Shadow as your starting class and you will be fine. Okay, once you come down here, you will find a red glowing item, and this is the Island of the Damned chart. In order to unlock new maps, you will have to find charts, and you will have to fulfill certain requirements. You will find the Island of the Damned chart right here on the Hermitorium. It's this item. And the next map is the Scarlet Coast, and you will find the map chart for the Scarlet Coast on the Island of the Damned. But the question is, when do you want to switch from Island of the Damned, which is the starting region of the game, to the Scarlet Coast and then to the Iron Gate Castle? Well, in my opinion, it's quite easy to say. As a rule of thumb, you want to increase your difficulty with every 10 levels that you reach, and you can also go to the Scarlet Coast when you start increasing your difficulty and when you hit like level 12 to 15, depending on your preference. But generally speaking, go from level 0, or right now level 6, to level 12 to the Island of the Damned on Gnosis 0. Then you switch to Scarlet Coast and the game will get significantly harder. But that should still be fun. Go to the Scarlet Coast and play Scarlet Coast from level 10 to 20 with Gnosis 1. Once you hit level 20, increase your Gnosis to level 2. Maybe farm a few more levels or see if you're fine with Gnosis 2. And then you can come back to the Island of the Damned and finish the Wailing Tower up. If you find yourself short on gold, there is a very nice trick or workaround to get gold pretty fast. I made a video on it. You can farm the final boss on the Scarlet Coast for a very nice gold boost. Check out that video. I will link it to you right now. So then you're on level 30 or maybe level 40. You can increase your difficulty scaling, so as a rule of thumb, every 10 levels you can increase the Gnosis. And then check out the Iron Gate Castle once you hit Gnosis 2. And very important, check out the Iron Gate Castle Mirages once you hit Gnosis 3. You will get one of the best heavy spells in the game, which is called the Burning Stake. Let us talk about stat distribution. Stats will be distributed on the Ascension Shrine. And since you picked a very decent starting class with Butchery and Metanoia already pumped a little bit, you will now focus on Vitality, Healing and Endurance. Vitality and endurance are more important than healing. So bring vitality to about level 12 or maybe 15, and then diminishing returns will start to kick in very, very hard. So 12 to 15 is sufficient for vitality. If you struggle with the game, if you're not too good a first-person player or shooter player in general, maybe you can pump vitality to level 20 or even more, but I would not recommend it. Go to level 15, see if you're fine with that, and go from there. Same goes with endurance. Level 12 to 15 should be absolutely fine. And then please pump witchery and metanoia. You want to pump witchery at least to level 40, because witchery will make sure that your spells are always available and you can keep them spamming on cooldown. The spells and the elemental combinations you get from the spells are what really makes this game stand out, and how you will be able to clear all the areas, or the areas very, very, very easily. So witchery and metanoia are the most important stats right now in the game. You can also put a few points in luck, which will make sure that a few more health potions will drop, and also the frequency of calamities will be slightly reduced. But I would recommend pumping witchery to at least 40, and then pump metanoia as well. So make sure that you level them both equally. That being said, let's talk about difficulty scaling. Before the Ghost Galleon update, the difficulty was bound to the player level. They changed the system, so now it's possible for you to overlevel. Since you will need more Witchfire to level up, it will take you longer to acquire the necessary Witchfire without upgrading your Gnosis, and thus the difficulty. And in order to upgrade your difficulty, you will need to unlock this red gate over here on the map. It will require 2500 Witchfire, and then you will find a tome at the bottom, which will let you increase the difficulty. Okay, once you hit level 7, you will be able to start researching. So let's talk about research and the best research order. Research is done via the workshop, and you will need to fulfill a certain amount of actions in order for the research to finish. So, for example, at the top you can see 27 actions are required in order to progress the medium range weapon research. And an action is, for example, clearing camps, opening chests, and doing certain events on the map. So every action, every camp that you clear will continue your progress. Do me a favor, please don't research short-range weapons in the early game, because they are a little bit hard to play at the beginning. So I recommend longer range weapons until you get used to the attack patterns and enemies. So on level 7, you want to start the research of the medium range weapons as well as a heavy spell. Once you hit level 15, you want to get a fetish and a ring, and on level 20 you want to research your relic. And once you hit level 20, your prayer should look like that. You have the all-seeing eye, you have hunger. On level 20 you get the Eye of the Mad Woman, which is undoubtedly maybe the best relic of the late game. You have Belladonna, which is a very protective defensive item and is very helpful for you in the early game on level 15. And you will get the Ring of Excreta, which is not too bad if you use it right, but this is not a late game item in my opinion. But better have it than not to have a ring equipped at all. And that being said, once you have your all-seeing eye and hunger, you can continue from there with more light spells, with more heavy spells. Check out the wiki, because on the wiki you will find the research order for all weapons and for all spells. So you can continue from here and check out my meta weapon guide that I linked below and on the top right corner right now of the video. So if you're interested in late game builds, check out that video. The last thing I want to mention is the Fallen Prayers. Right over here in the Hematorium you have this flickering flame that will ignite once you hit Gnosis 2. Let's switch to another save game of mine and I will show you what I'm talking about. Alright, over here you will have the possibility to gather shards and different fallen prayers. Once you do an expedition, the fallen prayers will be available via minimap and you will have the icons on the top right corner. The fallen prayers will give you a passive skill as well as an active skill when you summon them. And the summoning costs are between 1% and 25% of your current Witchfire. But I recommend getting all the prayers. 3 at the time are available right now. And how to find them is explained in the shorts, which will also be linked in the description. So check out my shorts on how to find the shards of Elias, the shards of Goliath, and the shards of Cain. So once you found the shards, you come up to the flame and you will be able to unlock the fallen prayers with the sigils on the ground, and you will be able to increase the power of the fallen prayers by increasing or by strengthening the flame. And in order to strengthen the flame, you will need to collect echoes, and echoes can be collected by starting the Echoes quest, which will cost 1,000 Witchfire, and you can actually re-roll the quest that you receive from the game. Right now I should go to the Scarlet Coast and maybe do some vaults in order to get more echoes. So if you go over and you abandon the quest, you'll be able to get a new one. And now I'll have to go to the Iron Gate Castle, and echoes will have a medium chance to drop for major enemies, which is very, very good and will lead to a lot of echoes if you're able to clear the maps. Okay, and that was it from today's video. If you have any more questions, as I said initially, please ask them below or join the Discord. I will try to help you as good as possible. And as always, guys, have a good one and enjoy the game.